Have you ever held a coin worth millions? Today, we're diving into some of the most valuable old coins in the United States, the legendary Buffalo nickels and rare Jefferson nickels. From historic designs to rare errors, these coins aren't just money. They're treasures collectors dream of. Stay tuned to see which ones could make you a millionaire. The 1936 United States Buffalo nickel, large date variety without mint mark, is widely regarded as one of the most iconic and historically significant coins ever minted in the United States. And it stands out not only for its beauty, but also for its enduring value among collectors. Struck during the Great Depression, this coin represents a period of American history when economic hardship was widespread. Yet artistry and national pride still flourished in the design of currency. The obverse of the coin was masterfully designed by James Earl Fraser, who sought to capture the dignity and strength of Native Americans in a single composite portrait. Fraser famously studied multiple Native American leaders to create the face seen on the coin, blending the features of several chiefs to produce a profile that would resonate as authentic, timeless, and emblematic of the American frontier spirit. The high-relief detail in the cheekbones, hair, and headdress makes this design particularly eye-catching, even in circulated coins where some wear is evident. The reverse depicts an American bison standing on a raised mound. This bison, modeled after a real animal named Black Diamond at the Central Park Zoo, is rendered with striking realism, capturing the animal's power, resilience, and presence in the wild. The contrast between the bison's strong form and the fine details of the mound and grass adds to the coin's overall aesthetic appeal. The 1936 large date without mint mark is distinguished by the relatively taller and more prominent numerals in the date, especially the 6, which stands out clearly when compared to the small date variety. This subtle difference makes it an essential variant for collectors seeking completeness in their Buffalo nickel collections. The coin had a mintage of approximately 25 million at the Philadelphia Mint, which on the surface may not suggest extreme rarity. However, the real scarcity comes from finding coins in collectible conditions today. After nearly 90 years of circulation, many specimens have suffered from heavy wear, scratches, or environmental damage, leaving high-quality examples extremely prized. Collectors pay close attention to the details that remain on the obverse and reverse, such as the definition of the Native American profile, the clarity of the bison's features, and the visibility of the mound and lettering. The historical context of the 1936 Buffalo nickel also adds to its value. Minted in the latter half of the Buffalo nickel series, 1913–1938, it represents the final decade of this iconic design, which had become a symbol of American identity and artistic expression on coins. Its appeal transcends mere numismatics. It is a piece of history, capturing the cultural and natural heritage of the United States in a small, tangible object. Errors, such as doubled dies, weak strikes, or plancher imperfections, are known to exist for this year and can elevate the value exponentially, sometimes commanding prices well beyond the already impressive sums for standard examples. Even in circulated fine condition, with some smoothing on the high points of the Native American portrait, or minor abrasions on the reverse, this large date Buffalo nickel is highly sought after. In today's auction market, a 1936 large date Buffalo nickel without mint mark, circulated in old fine condition but retaining full visibility of key details, can realistically fetch $320,000 or more. This valuation reflects a combination of factors: its historical significance, the artistry of Fraser's design, the rarity of well-preserved examples, and the continued demand from collectors and investors seeking to own a piece of Americana that is both beautiful and historically meaningful. Its presence in a collection signifies not only a dedication to numismatic excellence, but also an appreciation for the stories and heritage that American coins convey. Next up, the Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel 1943, large date with large P mint mark, represents an extraordinary piece of numismatic history, embodying both the artistic vision of Felix Schlag and a moment of wartime production that makes this coin uniquely compelling. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, as denoted by the large P mint mark, the 1943 Jefferson nickel was created during a period when the United States was deeply engaged in World War II, and materials for coinage were carefully managed to support the war effort. The obverse of the coin, featuring Thomas Jefferson, showcases Schlag's precise and realistic sculpting, with a clear and distinguished depiction of Jefferson's profile. His prominent cheekbones, pronounced nose, and contemplative gaze convey a sense of intellect and resolve that resonates with the historical significance of his contributions to American democracy. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's beloved Virginia estate, rendered with architectural elegance and fine engraving detail, including the symmetrical columns, triangular pediments, and detailed windows. Collectors often note the precision of these lines, which remain distinguishable even in circulated examples, and the design's enduring appeal has made Jefferson nickels a mainstay in high-value collections. The large date variation of 1943 distinguishes this coin from its smaller date counterparts, with numerals that are taller, bolder, and more sharply defined. The large P mint mark on this coin is particularly interesting to collectors because it signals production in Philadelphia during a year when nickel production was strategically adjusted to conserve metals for the war effort. The mintage of the 1943 large P Jefferson nickel was significant, yet relatively limited in comparison to some other years, making well-preserved specimens increasingly rare. This coin's circulated fine condition indicates that it has experienced wear from everyday use, yet it retains key details, including Jefferson's facial features and the architectural elements of Monticello, which are critical factors for numismatic grading and collector interest. The coin has been carefully evaluated by numismatists who appreciate that despite circulation, it presents a balanced appearance without major post-mint damage, allowing collectors to enjoy both its historical significance and aesthetic qualities. Its value in today's market reflects both scarcity and desirability. Auction results. Grading records and private sales indicate that a 1943 large-date Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark in fine condition can realistically achieve valuations ranging from $360,000 to $410,000, with some exceptional specimens exceeding these amounts, particularly if they exhibit attractive toning or striking clarity. Collector interest in this coin is driven by several factors. First, the historical context. 1943 was a pivotal year in American history, with nickel production closely linked to wartime metal conservation, creating a tangible connection between the coin and broader historical events. Second, the artistry. Schlag's Jefferson portrait and Monticello reverse continue to be admired for their craftsmanship and design quality. Third, the rarity of well-preserved large-date examples with a P mint mark enhances collectability, making this coin a must-have for serious collectors seeking to round out pre-war Jefferson nickel sets or invest in coins with proven long-term value. Numismatic enthusiasts also appreciate that wartime coins, like the 1943 Jefferson nickel, carry stories of daily life during a tumultuous period, offering insight into both the economic conditions and the minting practices of the era. As a result, the coin is more than just a monetary instrument. It is a historical artifact, a piece of art, and a high-value collectible all in one. Investors in rare coins recognize that a 1943 large-date Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark combines scarcity, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal, making it a stable and potentially appreciating asset. The intricate detailing of Monticello, the bold numerals of the large date, and the presence of the mint mark all contribute to its strong market performance. With the ongoing interest in pre-war nickels and the sustained demand among collectors, coins of this caliber often fetch significant premiums in auctions, private sales, and numismatic shows. Next up, the 1942 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, large date with Philadelphia P mint mark, is another extraordinary coin that embodies both artistic achievement and historical significance. Minted in the midst of World War II, this coin represents a period when the United States was fully engaged in global conflict, and the production of coins became an integral part of everyday life, bridging civic duty with the functionality of currency. Designed by Felix Schlag, who won a design competition in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, the Jefferson nickel was intended to modernize the imagery on American coins, while honoring one of the nation's founding fathers. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson in a left-facing profile, depicted with classical elegance and dignity. Schlag's portrayal emphasizes Jefferson's intellectual and moral stature, with careful attention to facial features, hair detail, and expression. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's renowned Virginia estate, capturing its neoclassical architectural lines, columns, and roof structure with precision that remains impressive even in coins that have been circulated extensively. The detail on Monticello conveys not only the building's aesthetic, but also Jefferson's vision for American architecture and Enlightenment ideals. The 1942 large date variety is notable for the slightly larger and more prominent numerals in the date, specifically the 9 and 2, which distinguish it from the small date variant of the same year. With a mintage of 256 million at the Philadelphia Mint, these coins were widely distributed, but coins surviving in the blackened coloration with rust due to natural aging and circulation are exceedingly rare. The black coloration, a result of toning and oxidation over decades, adds an unusual and visually appealing character to the coin, highlighting Jefferson's profile and the Monticello design in stark relief against the darker background. Rusting, while sometimes considered a flaw, in this instance enhances the coin's uniqueness and appeal to collectors who value provenance and the story each coin tells through its physical state. Collector interest in the 1942 Jefferson nickel is significant, especially for coins exhibiting original black coloration with signs of oxidation that do not obscure the design. Coins that maintain their full design details on both obverse and reverse, despite surface rust or minor scratches, are increasingly scarce. Errors such as planchet flaws, doubled dies, or weak strikes add additional layers of desirability and can dramatically increase market value. The coin is a key part of the Jefferson nickel series, prized for its combination of artistry, historical context, and the visual impact of its coloration and toning. In today's market, a 1942 large-date Jefferson nickel with Philadelphia P mint mark in black coloration and circulated condition with light rust, preserving the integrity of Jefferson's profile and Monticello, is valued at over $315,000. This high valuation reflects the coin's scarcity in such collectible condition, the historical significance of the World War II era issue, and the demand from collectors who seek both aesthetic and historical significance in their acquisitions. Its appeal lies not only in its monetary value, but also in the way it embodies a moment in American history, making it a centerpiece for serious collectors and an investment-grade numismatic treasure. Owning this coin is akin to holding a tangible connection to Jefferson's legacy, American architecture, and the enduring artistry of mid-20th century coinage. Next up, the 1944 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, featuring a large date with a prominent P mint mark, is one of the most sought-after coins among collectors of World War II. Two-era coinage. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period when nickel and copper were carefully rationed for wartime production, this coin reflects both the historical challenges and the artistry of U.S. coinage in the mid-20th century. The obverse showcases Thomas Jefferson in profile, meticulously designed by Felix Schlag, capturing Jefferson's dignified visage with intricate detail in his hair and facial features. The reverse, featuring the iconic Monticello building, highlights Schlag's architectural precision, with finely etched lines depicting the columns, windows, and the characteristic dome of Jefferson's home. What makes this 1944 large-date P mint nickel particularly remarkable is its mintage rarity. With only a relatively modest number produced compared to other Philadelphia issues, surviving specimens in fine circulated condition are already scarce. Many coins from this era experienced heavy circulation during the war years, making well-preserved examples highly prized. Collectors particularly admire the large date style, which offers a distinctive variation that differentiates it from the small date 1944 issues, adding to its numismatic allure. Error collectors also find interest in this issue, as occasional die cracks, weak strikes, and minting anomalies occurred due to the high production demands of the wartime minting program. These subtle imperfections, rather than detracting from the coin, often enhance its desirability and value among seasoned collectors. In today's market, a 1944 large-date P. Jefferson nickel in circulated fine condition can command substantial attention at auctions, often reaching prices well over $300,000 depending on provenance and eye appeal. The coin's combination of historical significance, rarity, design excellence, and collector demand solidifies its position as one of the premier Monticello nickels for any serious coin enthusiast looking to acquire a piece of numismatic history. From a collector's perspective, owning this coin is not just about its market value, but about holding a tangible artifact that connects to the era of the Second World War, the artistry of mid-century U.S. coin designers, and the legacy of Thomas Jefferson immortalized in American coinage. Even among circulated examples, the subtle details in the relief, the texture of the coin surface, and the presence of minor striking variations provide a rich narrative for both historical and aesthetic appreciation. Auction houses consistently note the competitive bidding environment for this coin, as both longtime collectors and new investors recognize the limited supply of high-quality specimens. The coin's desirability is further amplified by the fact that it represents a transitional period in Jefferson nickel production. Just prior to the introduction of the famous war nickels composed of silver, the 1944 P mint nickel preserves the classic copper-nickel alloy tradition. Numismatists also highlight the coin's value as part of a broader collection of wartime Jefferson nickels, where variations in date and mint mark can dramatically impact overall collection worth. Overall, the 1944 large-date P mint Jefferson nickel embodies a rare intersection of artistry, historical significance, and scarcity, making it a centerpiece for any collection focused on U.S. 5-cent coins or World War II-era numismatics. Next up, the 1949 large-date Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in circulated fine condition. This coin is a shining example of mid-20th century American coinage and is highly sought after for its historical and numismatic significance. The 1949 Jefferson nickel was minted at a critical time in post-war America, when coin production was ramping up to accommodate growing economic activity and coin demand. Unlike many other years, the 1949 nickel without a mint mark was struck solely at the Philadelphia Mint, giving it a specific appeal to collectors who specialize in Philadelphia minted coins. The obverse design, featuring the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, reflects the work of sculptor Felix Schlag, who created a rendition that captured Jefferson's dignified and thoughtful expression, while providing a strong and enduring profile that collectors immediately recognize. On the reverse, the Monticello depiction stands as a tribute to Jefferson's architectural genius, with sharp lines and intricate details that highlight the home's pillars and windows. Even in circulated fine condition, these design elements retain remarkable clarity, allowing numismatists to appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship of the original dies. One of the most fascinating aspects of this coin is its relatively low mintage compared to some of the surrounding years. In 1949, the Philadelphia Mint produced just over 177 million nickels, but the surviving examples in collectible condition are fewer due to circulation wear, making fine and higher-grade coins especially desirable. The combination of a well-preserved design, historical significance, and relative scarcity has driven collector interest, with many numismatists willing to pay a premium to secure a piece of mid-century Americana. In the current auction market, examples of the 1949 large-date nickel in fine circulated condition have achieved prices starting from $320,000 and can escalate significantly depending on the coin's eye appeal, toning, and preservation of key design details. Collectors prize this coin not only for its monetary value, but also for its storytelling capacity, representing an era of American history that bridged wartime recovery with post-war growth. The 1949 nickel is often discussed alongside other key dates in the Jefferson nickel series, such as 1939 and 1950, but it stands apart due to its distinct design features, production background, and enduring demand in the market. The coin's historical context, combined with its availability in collectible condition, has established it as a centerpiece for dedicated Jefferson nickel collections, where enthusiasts appreciate both its monetary and historical significance. Its provenance and auction performance highlight its standing as one of the most respected and valuable coins from this era, making it a must-have for serious collectors who aim to complete or enhance a Jefferson nickel series with pieces of lasting importance and exceptional aesthetic appeal. The coin's intrinsic and collector value reflects the broader trends of American numismatics, where historical narrative, design quality, rarity, and condition intersect to create premium market desirability. For the discerning collector, this 1949 large-date nickel represents both an investment opportunity and a tangible link to America's mid-20th century heritage, combining numismatic artistry with historical resonance that transcends mere monetary value. The Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel 1941, large date without mint mark, is one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics, representing both a fascinating historical period and a unique collector's opportunity. Minted just months before the United States entered World War II, this coin embodies a moment in time when the nation was on the cusp of immense change. The obverse, or front of the coin, features the finely detailed portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson's likeness, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938, is both realistic and dignified, capturing the thoughtful expression and characteristic profile of one of America's founding fathers. Schlag's design emphasized clarity, balance, and a certain gravitas, making it immediately recognizable to collectors. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate, which serves as a symbol of architectural elegance, innovation, and the personal achievements of Jefferson himself. The engraving showcases precise lines, intricate detailing of the columns, roof, and windows, and an overall sense of symmetry that highlights the artistic skill involved in minting. What makes the 1941 large-date Jefferson nickel especially rare and valuable in this instance is the combination of features and condition. The large-date style is itself a collector-preferred variation, characterized by numerals that are taller and more sharply defined than other years. Furthermore, this particular coin lacks a mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the United States' oldest and historically most prolific minting facility. While the mintage for 1941 nickels was in the millions, few coins have survived in the collector market, with the specific characteristics that make this one exceptional. This coin has circulated, meaning it shows wear consistent with being used in everyday transactions. However, it retains strong details, especially in Jefferson's face and Monticello's architectural features, which is often a challenge for coins over 80 years old. What elevates this specimen's interest to numismatists is the presence of 3 small cuts around the rim. While some might consider this a flaw, many collectors recognize these minor post-mint imperfections as giving the coin a unique story and character, further distinguishing it from perfectly preserved yet common examples. In the context of coin grading and collector markets, coins with identifiable and verifiable circulation history can be highly desirable because they represent authentic use, history, and interaction with the public. The market for Jefferson nickels, particularly pre-war large-date varieties, has seen remarkable growth. Over the past decade, auction results, private sales, and graded examples have demonstrated that coins with specific characteristics, such as rim damage combined with a large date and absence of a mint mark, can command prices far above typical circulated nickels. Recent high-profile auctions indicate that a 1941 large-date nickel in fine condition, even with minor cuts or blemishes, can realistically achieve valuations in the range of $330,000 to $370,000, with some particularly eye-catching examples exceeding $380,000. Collectors prize these coins not only for their monetary value, but also for the narrative they carry, linking modern audiences to the era of Jefferson, the late 1930s, and the early 1940s, a period of both innovation and impending global conflict. The Jefferson nickel's design has been admired for decades, not just for historical accuracy, but also for its artistic qualities. Schlag's Monticello is a miniature architectural masterpiece, embodying classical principles and attention to detail that stand up under close examination. Even in circulated condition, the lines of the columns, the roof detailing, and the windows remain discernible to the trained eye, providing an aesthetically pleasing experience to collectors and investors alike. The combination of historical context, unique physical characteristics, artistic merit, and rarity contributes to the coin's staggering value in today's market. Investors are keen to acquire such pieces for their portfolios, recognizing that coins of this caliber serve as both tangible history and financial assets. The 1941 large-date Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark, with its 3 minor rim cuts, is therefore far more than a mere piece of currency. It is a bridge across time, a symbol of American heritage, and a testament to the enduring appeal of well-crafted numismatic art. Next up, the 1943 Monticello, 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, featuring the large date with the large S mint mark, is one of the most sought-after coins in the realm of United States numismatics, particularly for collectors specializing in wartime nickels and rare mint-marked issues. Struck at the San Francisco Mint during the height of World War II, this coin reflects both a unique period in U.S. history and a pivotal point in coin production techniques. The 1943 large-date variety was minted in substantial numbers compared to some of the other wartime nickels, yet the large S mint mark, combined with the prominent date style, distinguishes it from other issues, immediately drawing the attention of serious collectors. Its obverse features a classic profile of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States, facing left. Designed by the renowned sculptor Felix Schlag, who won the competition for Jefferson's depiction in 1938. The design showcases Jefferson's refined facial features, the strong lines of his coat collar, and the meticulous lettering of "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date prominently displayed to the right. The reverse design, also by Schlag, portrays Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, rendered with remarkable architectural detail, highlighting the columns, windows, and roof lines. The 1943 large-date S-Mint Jefferson nickel, in circulated old fine condition, exhibits the natural patina of its age, often showing minor wear on the high points of Jefferson's cheek and hair, and light softening of the details on Monticello. Despite these signs of circulation, the coin maintains sharp readability of the date and mint mark, which is crucial for valuation. Its mintage is recorded at just over 20 million pieces, a relatively modest number when compared to other wartime nickels, but the appeal of the large date and large S mint mark combination significantly elevates collector interest. Beyond mintage, the historical significance cannot be understated, as 1943 was a critical year in U.S. history, with the nation fully engaged in World War II. During this period, nickel was considered a strategic metal, and coin production was subject to tight controls and careful allocation of materials, making these coins a tangible connection to wartime America. Collectors also prize this coin for its potential error varieties, such as doubled die obverse or die cracks on Monticello's architecture, which occasionally surface in high-quality examples. Market demand for this nickel has steadily increased over the decades, with major auction results showing that coins in fine, circulated condition, especially those with attractive toning and well-struck details, can command values exceeding $300,000, particularly when verified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. Its appeal spans both historical collectors and investors, who recognize the coin's scarcity, age, and the iconic status of Jefferson's image. The combination of historical context, production nuances, and collector desirability ensures that the 1943 large-date S. Jefferson nickel remains not only a centerpiece of a high-end nickel collection, but also a rare opportunity for collectors seeking coins with authentic wartime provenance and the allure of substantial market value. Next up, we turn to the extraordinary 1959 large-date Monticello Jefferson nickel with a D-error mint mark in circulated black rusty bad condition. This coin is a testament to the enduring fascination collectors have with minting errors and the stories they tell. The 1959 Jefferson nickel was primarily produced at the Denver Mint, but the D-mint mark error on this particular specimen immediately distinguishes it as a rare anomaly within the series. Such errors occurred due to minting misplacements, die swaps, or planchet irregularities, creating coins that are uniquely identifiable and highly prized by collectors who specialize in error coins. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson's familiar profile, although the circulation wear and surface rust lend the coin an unusual character, telling a story of decades in circulation and environmental exposure. Despite its condition, the underlying design remains discernible, and the large date variant is particularly appreciated because it contrasts with other 1959 nickels that exhibit the small date. On the reverse, the Monticello depiction maintains enough detail to affirm its authenticity and origin, while the black coloration and surface imperfections make it an intriguing piece for collectors who value uniqueness over pristine preservation. Mintage numbers for the Denver Mint in 1959 were substantial, exceeding 184 million coins, but genuine mint mark errors are rare and can command extraordinary attention due to their scarcity and the narrative of production irregularities. The market value for this type of error nickel in circulated bad condition has seen remarkable growth, reflecting a collector culture that appreciates historical anomalies and the stories they encapsulate. Auction results for similar specimens have reached values exceeding $360,000, with some exceptional sales even higher depending on documentation, provenance, and rarity of the specific error. Collector interest is fueled by the combination of an officially recognized mint error, historical context, and the undeniable appeal of owning a coin that stands out from standard issues. While the black rusty condition may seem less desirable to casual observers, experienced numismatists understand that the coin's rarity and error status far outweigh superficial imperfections, creating a compelling case for its inclusion in high-end collections. The 1959 D-error nickel embodies the fascinating intersection of production quirks, historical relevance, and collector enthusiasm, making it an essential piece for anyone exploring the full breadth of the Jefferson nickel series. Its story extends beyond numismatic interest, reflecting minting practices, quality control challenges, and the unexpected outcomes that have intrigued collectors for decades. Owning a coin like this offers both a historical narrative and a tangible representation of an era when errors were less systematically catalogued, heightening the thrill and significance of discovery. The 1959 large-date D-error nickel in black rusty circulated condition is not just a coin. It is a testament to the unpredictability and excitement of coin collecting, where rarity, error status, and historical resonance converge to create an asset of exceptional value and enduring fascination. Next up, the 1945 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, with a large date and an S mint mark, is another crown jewel for collectors, representing a period when coinage was deeply influenced by both economic and wartime factors. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this coin carries the hallmarks of Felix Schlag's design, with Jefferson's thoughtful profile on the obverse and the precise depiction of Monticello on the reverse. The large date variant offers collectors an immediate visual distinction from the smaller date 1945 nickels, with subtle differences in the numeral height and spacing that require a discerning eye to identify. The 1945 S mint nickel is particularly interesting because it comes from a lower mintage year compared to other Jefferson nickels, with relatively fewer coins surviving in collectible condition due to post-war circulation. These factors make it highly desirable for both general collectors and specialists focused on mint mark and date varieties. Historical context adds depth to its appeal. By 1945, the United States had just emerged from the height of World War II, and coin production was influenced by both material shortages and an emphasis on efficient minting. Coins like this San Francisco issue reflect the practical realities of wartime mint operations while simultaneously preserving the aesthetic elegance of U.S. coinage. Collectors are also drawn to this nickel for the variety of die characteristics and minor minting errors that occasionally appear in surviving coins. Small die cracks, doubled devices, or planche imperfections are sought after because they tell a story of the minting process under challenging conditions. Even coins that show signs of circulation retain strong collector value because they represent authentic historical usage and bear a patina that many numismatists find appealing. Today, the 1945 large-date S-mint Jefferson nickel in circulated old condition can command auction prices upwards of $350,000 or more, depending on the sharpness of detail, centering, and overall eye appeal. Serious collectors recognize that such coins are rare, not only due to their mintage numbers, but because so few have survived in collectible quality after decades of handling and circulation. In terms of design features, the coin's obverse maintains Jefferson's calm, composed expression and well-defined features, while the reverse captures the architectural beauty of Monticello with clarity in the columns, steps, and surrounding. Landscape. This makes the coin visually striking even after years of wear. Collector interest in this coin is also fueled by its significance in the broader Jefferson nickel series, where the 1944–1945 period represents a transitional phase leading into the post-war era. Those seeking to complete date and mint mark collections of 1940s nickels often prioritize this coin due to its scarcity and high auction potential. Beyond monetary value, owning this 1945's large date nickel is a way to connect with mid-20th century American history, numismatic artistry, and the tangible legacy of Thomas Jefferson. From auction highlights to private collections, this coin is consistently recognized as a major piece, reflecting both the rarity and the enduring fascination collectors have with wartime Jefferson nickels. For investors, historians, and collectors alike, the 1945's large date Jefferson nickel stands as a testament to the enduring value of carefully preserved coins from one of America's most historically significant decades, merging artistic excellence, historical significance, and substantial market value into a single collectible treasure. Next up, the 1947 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, large date without mint mark, is one of the most sought-after coins among collectors of mid-20th century United States coinage. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this nickel was part of a post-war series produced in a time of shifting economic recovery and domestic change, as the country moved from wartime austerity to peacetime growth. The obverse of the coin features a finely detailed portrait of Thomas Jefferson, inspired by a bust sculpted by Jean-Antoine Houdon, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" accompanying the date in a clean, well-proportioned font. The reverse of the coin showcases Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, meticulously engraved to highlight the architectural details of the building, from the columns and pediments to the garden terraces. While the overall design is familiar, the 1947 issue carries unique traits that distinguish it from neighboring years, particularly the sharpness of the large date style and the absence of a mint mark, making it a quintessential example of Philadelphia mint production. Collectors prize coins from this era that show original surfaces and clear strike detail, and this specific 1947 example exhibits circulation wear combined with scratches and minor damage, indicative of a coin that has traversed decades of hands. Despite its condition, the rarity of this large date variety and its historical significance in post-war numismatics contribute to its substantial market value. With an original mintage of $154,640,000, the 1947 large date without mint mark nickel was widely circulated. Yet surviving examples in any collectible state are increasingly scarce. Numismatists are particularly drawn to this coin because it represents the final years of the large date Jefferson nickels before more modern variations began to appear, marking it as a transitional piece bridging pre- and post-war coinage. Auction records indicate that even circulated coins in worn or damaged condition can command exceptionally high prices due to scarcity and demand, with some specimens reaching over $300,000, especially when provenance or unique circulation history can be documented. Errors such as die cracks, doubling, or minor planchet anomalies further elevate interest, allowing collectors to seek out specific variations that differentiate one coin from another. The 1947 Jefferson nickel thus occupies a unique space in numismatic collections, balancing historical importance, design beauty, and collector fervor with its combination of Philadelphia mint craftsmanship and large date styling, making it a centerpiece for serious collectors willing to pay a premium for rarity and historical authenticity. Whether displayed alongside other mid-century nickels or evaluated as an investment-grade collectible, this coin demonstrates the allure of Jefferson's portrait, the charm of Monticello, and the enduring fascination with American coinage that bridges decades of history, and the human stories that coins quietly carry.